Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Scotty RFD here. Today we're going to be in the majestic forest, seeing the sights and sounds of Mother Nature and its trees and birds and bricks. Just kidding, we're going to do a bike review today. Let's get to it. So here it is everyone, Kawasaki's 2022 KLR 650. This model you see here is the adventure model. Comes in the, oh, we got some bikes here coming across. Sorry about that guys. And with the Cypher camo color, you get some saddlebags, you get some fog lights. This bike overall comes in 3 different color combos. The adventure version only being in the camo. You can get the non-adventure versions with the orange and the desert sand, I believe the color is. This bike coming in as its non-ABS version, weighing in at 483 pounds. The ABS one is 487 pounds. I don't think you'd really want ABS on this model anyways. Engine size is a 652cc single cylinder engine, fuel injected for this one. Unknown horsepower, I could not see that on Kawasaki's website, so it's what it is. Seat height 870 millimeters, quite high. I'll be on my tippy toes for most of the day. And we get a 23-liter fuel tank, so we can put lots of miles on this thing. Saddlebags in the back come standard on the adventure model. You get a nice base up top for a couple more bags, all key locked, very easy to remove. I'll kind of fiddle with later. And plus side, this is the only bike I've seen that come with 3 doors, one being here and then another being inside. Nice USB plug-in right there, keep her safe, dry, all the above. And we've got a nice power outlet here. That's your 3 doors. Anyway, enough talk. I have a cold. My voice will be done at any moment here, so let's get on this thing, take it for a ride. You know, it's always a mission getting my legs over a bike with 2 saddlebags on the back. I never know seeing how to do it. But I manage. That is the only thing. All right, let's get on going. 2022 KLR 650. Oh. She is a rumbler. Coming out of that single canister exhaust, I tell ya. All right, well, this bike's been in Kawasaki's lineup for 30 years now. It's a old timer. Contains the same kind of basics as they've been doing in the past years, but with a few updates. This bike is a very simpleton, but for what you're doing, I think it needs to be the simpleton. You know, be the adventure model, you're going to be on a lot of, say, non-tarmac roads. You want things to be simple. You want to be able to fix those things as easy as possible. So we'll start out front here with some of the specs. You get a LCD screen cluster. We've got a fuel gauge, we've got a clock, got your kilometer per hour, and you've got your odometer. These 2 buttons, you have your trips, trip A, B, and this one just fiddles with the clock. And that's it. Obviously you've got your turn signals and check engines, lights, all that kind of stuff. But nothing else. No RPM gauge. They did give you a fuel gauge, I will say that. It beats the old fashioned incandescent light bulb when it comes on with 5 kilometers left to go. Windscreen is adjustable, but unfortunately they didn't make it easy for you. You have to take 8 bolts total off to adjust it, I believe 1 setting higher. So I haven't had the urge to take that apart and adjust it just to put it back down again. So it is adjustable, just not on the fly. You've got LED lighting front and back. Forks in the front, they're 41 millimeter non-adjustable front set fork. And then the rear is a single shock. You can adjust the preload rebound dampening. Brakes in the front is going to be a 300 mil disc brake with a dual piston caliper. Rear brake is a 240 mil disc with a dual piston caliper. Coming up on the front, you've got a nice lovely bar here. You can fit many things on this. Obviously, you know, GoPro mount, GPS mount, foam mount, lots of mounts to say the least. The mud guards come standard. They are plastic. Levers are not adjustable either. The mirrors do a good job. Not really, you know, bad looking either. Gets well past my shoulders, which is good to see, good to report. And this bike does have heated grips. Not sure if that's an afterthought or not, but it looks like it does some good. I haven't had a chance to test them as we are quite steamy today, quite hot today. So maybe later on this evening I'll have a chance. And the ports, although I made a semi-comical statement earlier, having this bike having 3 doors, I think it's quite good. It keeps the water, rain, all that stuff out, and you can charge and have multiple things going on, never be loss of power or anything. So being a very upright position on this bike, it's quite comfortable. I know they changed the seat over the previous versions, previous models. It does a good job. It's a very kind of couch-like seat. You can change your position from time to time, kind of forward and backwards. That will also obviously change your height on the seat. So potential shorter riders, you'll be more inclined to move to the front. You know, taller riders, you'll be fine anywhere like, so not a worry really to that. Going back down to the wheels on this machine, you get a big 21-inch tire in the front and a 17-inch tire in the rear. This will help you climb and soar over many obstacles on your either daily commute or backyard adventure, if you're planning on using a big trip or not. Hello, sir. Unfortunately, fortunately but unfortunately, we'll be on mostly tarmac for this ride and review. I could, if I do see a plot of land I can skip off to and take a little off-road, I will, but probably won't be happening too soon. So mainly tarmac for this point. So being Kawasaki single cylinder, you are going to feel a bit of vibration on your kind of feet and hands. There are very large cushions on the bottom of your feet, on the foot pegs. The only downside to those is that they flex a little bit depending how much weight you got on them, and they're in the rain, or if you have some full-on riding boot, they're easy for your feet to slip off. So if I were to buy this bike, hello gentlemen and ladies, maybe if I were to buy this bike come future or sometime, I would probably swap those out to have some kind of spikier foot pedals down there and sacrifice from that vibration to the grip, which is definitely what you need on this road. Also forgot to mention, in the front cluster we do have some fog lights. I'm sure you saw them in the opening credits, opening views. Just a simple on off switch. I haven't tried them yet, but hopefully tonight I will. The assuming LED lights, they'll be very bright and be able to see for miles and miles at a time. So I will say right off the hop, this bike is very well balanced. The second you get going, it's just, you know, it just wants to stay up straight. It's good in the corners, but it's a very balanced bike. I don't feel the weight of it at all. Even it being just under 500 pounds, you'd think it'd have some girth to it. Mind you, pushing it around the garage and whatnot, you can definitely feel it, but once you're moving, it's very hard to notice. Front suspension does feel a bit mushy at times. You just kind of riding on the normal roads here. It's a nice, pleasurable ride with you know, nothing kind of like moving around. But if you kind of jump about, it does get a bit spongy. I do wish Kawasaki had made the front forks adjustable, but being in this price point, I can't remember if I mentioned the price or not. So this one being the adventure model with no ABS, coming in at $9,688. The ABS version will run you $1 shy of $10,000. If you don't want to get the adventure model, the camel, you want some color changes from the sand or the orange, I believe those are around $7,500. So, you know, price competitive. This thing is good for, you know, someone that wants to get into the adventure touring models and, you know, doesn't want to spend an enormous amount of money. So back to the body position, very neutral position. I'm up fairly straight, no pressure on my legs or my hands or wrists, anything of that. The windscreen, even though it's in the down position, does a very good job deflecting all the wind. If you come in close, obviously all wind is gone, unnoticeable. So good on for that. This bike is a very kind of dirt bike-esque. You definitely feel it. And it feels almost impossible to stall. It doesn't have a slipper assist or anything kind of to help you out from first and going, but it's very easy to ride once you get up and go on it, mind you. Very easy to ride, very easy not to stall. I think it definitely surprised me in that area, because you think it's gonna, but then it doesn't. We're coming into a corner. I will say the front brakes don't really feel that great. I'm not sure if it's from the weight or just the master cylinder, but there's not much feeling in the front brake. Rear brake, yes. Front brake, no. So I'll have to kind of deduct a point for that. But you kind of go back to, you get what you pay for, and I feel like you get a lot of bike for the price. And you could always upgrade later on down the road. Get a better master cylinder, some of that. But I do wish Kawasaki would offer an upgraded version or some specs if you wanted to go past the what they offer. Again, I haven't seen a horsepower number. I don't think it's much. I watched a video where someone said about 40 horsepower on this machine. Comment down below if you know the horsepower. That was full throttle. Obviously off-road horsepower numbers, you know, as long as you got some torque, move the bike along, I don't think you'll have to worry too much. But on the open tarmac, it's not much. Just from my feeling, my perspective. All right, coming up to a turn. See, someone's coming. See, look at that. I'm just kind of balancing it a little bit. No problem. No problem running slow. I feel like this would definitely be a great bike off-roading, coming through some twist and turn, mogul, dirt paths, and you could keep this thing up straight, no problem. Very flickable. Obviously that big tire in the front is going to give you a lot of control. These large, kind of wider bars, lots of control. As we're riding along, I do feel a little bit of heat on my kind of ankles and legs from the engine. The 300 SM I rode not too long ago really didn't put out that much heat. Maybe given the size of it, you know, couldn't really produce that much heat. But I definitely am feeling a little bit of heat coming off of this thing. More on my left than my right, to be honest. There are some fairings along here to kind of shape it and deflect a little bit of the wind from you. We do have some bash guards down there, if you can see that. Looks good. Protect that frame if you're dropping it. I was shocked this morning that I was driving to get a coffee and I actually saw another KLR 650 in the orange, and it dawned on me, because when I first picked this up I thought, you know, what person would get this bike over the competition? And it got me thinking a little bit. But you know, at the same time, if you had to journey to the center of the earth and you needed a bike to do so, sure, there's lots of other bikes you could, you know, choose from, but would you really want to when you have the Kawasaki KLR 650? Hello. You know, it's reliable, single cylinder, peppy, and you know, if you're journeying to the center of the earth and you drop it along the way, you know, from what it is, you're not gonna really feel too bad for it. You know, you're just gonna pick it up and move along. You know, say if you got a, you know, pricier BMW, Ducati, you're gonna feel slightly hurt, and you're maybe not gonna want to ride it to the center of the earth anymore. You're gonna want to go home and sob over the expensive part you just broke or scratched or what have you. And that's kind of the nice thing about Kawasaki, is that they make these bikes very price competitive for people to, you know, maybe get into the style of riding, the off-road segments or what have you. And it's a very basic bike, but you know, it gets you in and it gets you interested, and you know, you could always add things later on if you really feel to. And they have such an array of motorcycles that I think it's a great brand to, you know, just get into. And you're gonna have lots of fun. You're gonna have smiles. It's gonna be easy to ride, easy to maintain, and it's gonna last you a long, long time. Oh, look at that thing, a DeLorean. Look at that. How about that? Oh, it's a chickmunk. There we go, people. We're really giving it the beans now, wringing its neck. Hey, there's a one on a BMW. Yes, through the corners, no problem. That was great. I think the sponginess of this machine actually makes it more enjoyable. You know, not feeling the road, floating along like a cloud. It's like a, you know, big old 50s Cadillac. Let's get into some corners here, folks. We can really feel this bike out a little bit. So good engine braking too. I thought it was a little twitchy on the slow roller corners, but long sweepers, it does a good job. Let's see how it does against this little bump here. Oh yeah, didn't even feel that. Oh god. That bird just darted right out. Right in front of me. Nice part about these adventure bikes, you can stand up, pinch the seat, see everything you need to, and it's still very controllable too. It's like that dirt bike where you're ripping through. Again, the only thing, I can feel those foot pegs flexing as I do this. They're kind of attached to this bracket, but the bracket's not very thick. So again, when you're, you know, if you're a average person or just heavier set altogether, there are going to be flexing, and it, you know, doesn't feel the greatest. It feels a little, especially too if you have some riding boots on. I've heard other stories where they're actually slipping off, so definitely would be investing in some different foot pegs, maybe some spikier ones. I'm going to pull into this little stretch. We'll take a nice little look at this 2022 KLR 650. Give it the rounds. Give it a little rev too. This kickstand, for instance, it likes to lean quite a lot. It's actually scary at times. Ooh, also one thing I forgot to mention, the steering has a ton of lock. Like, look at that. Look how much lock there is. That's amazing. All right, I'm trying to get off here. Oh God. I never know how to get on these things. I have been just doing one of these two-step motions. Oh God, still got my foot caught. Oh God. But even that, you know, obviously, as you just saw, sometimes fails. Oh, it's my mask up. I'm dying of suffocation here. Okay, here she is, folks. The beautiful camo panels hugging the engine casing and rad. Non-adjustable forks right there. Again, thick rubbers. Very slippery at times. There's not much tread there. Same with the passengers too. And not that they're an afterthought, but it's so thick that it doesn't really sit flush. Not that that matters or anything, just saying. And I don't know if you can see that, but no, it's a thin panel. I think it's just this part here. It kind of moves a little too much for my liking. Okay, let's take a look at these saddlebags real quick here. You got a key, locking position, that to unlock, and those two hold in, and then she opens up. Quite a bit of room there. I can get 2 full hands in there, 2 handfuls, and you still got some space on the top, which is good. To get this off, we're going to push this in, and then they'll just pop right up. I'm not going to do it now, but you get the gist. And then to close it, put those in, insert, and then lock, take the key out, and she's good to go. Like the spoke wheels, like the black spoke wheels, big old mud fender up front, some nice fog lights, and a nice transformer looking front headlight. Mudguard comes standard, as I said. They look pretty good. I like how they all kind of built in around the master and brake. Lots of wind deflection there, which is really good. And you get some bracing up here go along with your fog lights, although I think if you did roll this over, you might damage the fog light. But you do have some bracing down here for the rest of the engine, which is good. Nissan calipers, again, rear brake, very, very good. Front brake, not so good. Definitely would change that up if I could. But again, beautiful bike to get you into the adventure scene. I wouldn't change it for a thing. And you know, they're just going to keep evolving year after year. Turn her on one more time, get a little rev action. Oh yes, look at that, look at the look at that thing move. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but that whole tied tail section vibrates as we go. That's hilarious. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed the 2022 KLR 650 from Kawasaki. Again, I urge you, if you're interested in these bikes, get out and ride them. It's the only way that you will know if you like them or not. If you do, get on a Kawasaki KLR 650 if you're looking for adventure, looking for the unknown, especially when we're up here, unknown roads to travel. Anyway, Scotty RFD signing out. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.